Hey everyone, it's Wingspan TT, and if you're watching, you know what time it is. It's time for Duels of the Planeswalkers 2013. Now I'm back again, Top Tier Tactics, and me, I guess, because I'm like Top Tier Tactics #1 guy. We have an exclusive world preview of 2 of the decks for the next Duels of the Planeswalkers DLC. That's the Gatecrash DLC for next 5 Ravnica decks. Well, I mean, that hasn't been confirmed, but come on, let's just all be real. That's what's going to happen. Last time we talked about the Boros deck, Act of War, but today we're looking at the Simic deck, Sky and Scale. And the Simic are blue-green. They're like kind of like bioengineers. They took the green, which is nature, they took blue as the science, and they're not exactly mad scientists, but they're people who are trying to perfect nature, to move nature forward. Maybe a little bit of eugenics, maybe a little bit of evil, but just the idea that they want to improve on nature, bring it to its best. And what I really like about this deck, and we'll see while you're going through, is that there are going to be a lot of ways to build this deck. There's going to be control variants, there's going to be token variants, there's going to be nasty beatdown variants, and enough of this, let's just go through the cards. The first one we're going to see here is Assault Zeppelin. You'll recognize this from previous Duels games. It's 4 for 3/3 flying trample. That's it. It's just an efficient creature, 4 for 3/3 flying trample. You get in the air, get some damage through, they can't chump it. Very cool. Next is another extremely efficient creature, Coiling Oracle. Sorry about that. Coiling Oracle. 1 green, 1 blue for a 1/1 creature. When it comes into play, you look at the top card of your library. If it's a land, you put it directly into play, not even tapped. You just put it directly into play, so you ramp yourself if it's land. Otherwise, you draw the card. So no matter what is on the top of your deck, this thing is amazing. Early game, this thing can ramp you. You can ramp your mana. It replaces itself. No matter what, it's instant card advantage. There's no reason that every deck shouldn't run all 4 of these. Absolutely brutal. Gaia Skyfolk. This one is not as exciting. It's just 2 for 2/2 Elf Merfolk, okay, because it's from the Nemesis set, so they were just going with weird stuff back then. They were the same ones that came up with like zombie elves and goblin merfolk and stuff like that. Just a 2/2 flying for 2. Efficient. If you're going to go for an air beatdown deck, you could definitely run Gaia's Merfolk along with Assault Zeppelin and just get air beats in the air, because what are they going to do about 2/2 flying on turn 2? Very cool. Indrik Stop Howler, you already know this from the existing decks. 5 for 4/4, destroys target artifact or enchantment. Very instrumental, and there's not a lot of other ways for green and blue in this deck to deal with artifacts and enchantments. There are a couple, but and we'll talk about that later. But this is powerful. Again, beatdown, I would use this. Definitely use this. Next we got Lower Scale Codal, 3 for 2/2. Whenever you draw a card, you get a +1/+1 counter on Lower Scale Codal. Just think about this. Every turn it gets a +1/+1 counter. Okay, not as good as Primordial Hydra, but every turn it gets a +1/+1 counter. And whenever you happen to draw a card for any other reason, it gets a +1/+1 counter. So automatically you play this, next turn it's a 3/3 when you get to attack. So at the minimum, this is a 3 for 3/3. And maximum, who knows, it could just be absolutely insane. Next we have a very funny card, Omnibian. I'm definitely sure that's, at first I was like, it's Omnibian. No, it's like Amphibian Omnibian. 4 mana for 3/3. Tap. Target creature becomes a 3/3 frog until end of turn. So that your opponent attacks you with an 8/8 creature, you tap, nope, sorry, your creature's a 3/3 frog, and I'm going to block it with something else. Maybe you could block with this, then activate the ability, and then they cancel each other out, they kill each other. Or let's say you have a 1/1 creature, like Coiling Oracle, you attack, they let it through, and then bam, Omnibian, now it's a 3/3, you get 3 damage through. So Omnibian, is a really cool card. This is definitely a control kind of card. It has some use in beatdown, but it's just so cool. It just has a Hypnotoad kind of feel to it. Overbeing of Myth. I just love how all these split card avatars just have the weirdest, most surreal names. So for 5 mana, split, very cool. You can cast this no matter what. Its power and toughness is equal to the number of cards in your hand. You got 7 cards, it's a 7/7. You got 3, it's a 3/3. At the beginning of your draw step, you draw an extra card. So are you starting to see what this deck does? Are you starting to comprehend this? It's like, okay, I'm gonna cast this guy. Whenever I draw a card, I get +1/+1 counter. And by the way, I'm gonna draw 2 cards a turn, so I'm gonna get 2 +1/+1 counters on that thing a turn. And also, while I'm drawing all these extra cards, this guy's also getting bigger. Okay, it's just absolutely nasty. This is nasty. And again, it's not unbeatable, but it's just the card synergy is there. There's so much synergy in this deck. It's not like Goblin Gangland, where there's definitely card synergy. There's card synergy here. It's more of a control mid to late game synergy that's going to pay off. If you can't stop some of these cards early in the game, it's going to be game over. So basically, I feel that a lot of the faster decks are gonna have some trouble against this. If this deck can stabilize by turn 4, you're in a lot of trouble. Protean Hulk. This thing is, I'm pretty sure this was not restricted or banned at some point, but I mean, look at this thing, 7 for 6/6. When it comes into play, is put into a graveyard from play. I'm sorry, when it dies and the egg sacs on its back burst. Search your library for any number of creature cards with total converted mana cost 6 or less and put them into play. So you play this guy, alright, 7 mana, and then he dies, you could go get an Over Being a Myth, and if you can find some 1 casting cost, you could get that into play too. Or you get an Omnibian and a Coiling Oracle into play. So basically, when this thing dies, you get massive card advantage. Massive card advantage. Absolutely sick. Absolutely sick. This is wow. Jesus. Next up, Simic Ragworm, 4 for 3/3. It sucks. Next up, Simic Squaller, 7 for 6/6 Flying Trample Shadow. You guys will remember this from previous duels. This is absolutely nasty. This is something your opponents will not be able to stop. If you get this in play, unless they got a board wipe, the game is over. Because flying and trample and shroud, they can't target it, you can't target it, nothing can target it, and it's going to target your opponent's life total. And just look at it, it's nasty. It's a Leviathan. Next up, Tidespout Tyrant, 8 mana for 5/5 flying. Whenever you play a spell, keep in mind creatures are spells, they're creature spells. Artifacts are spells, the only things that aren't spells are like land and cycling and things like that. Okay, return target permanent to its owner's hand. What? What? Now again, this is 8 mana, so this might be outside your curve. I'm not saying keep this out of your deck, but I wouldn't keep, like, I wouldn't put this and the Protean Hulk. Like, don't put a million high casting cost cards in your deck. Alright, you want to keep your curve reasonable, okay? But it's absolutely sick. So if you get this into play, the game is going to be over really fast. You're going to be returning. So you can return your own creatures to your hand, get more cards in your hand, so things like Over Being a Myth are bigger creatures. It's just, oh, it's so gross. You could return a Coiling Oracle to your hand every turn, so you can draw more cards and get more land every turn. So gross, so gross. Alright, this thing is just a terrible to look at. It just hurts my brain to look at this weird Manta Ray Jackal. But it's 3 for 2/3 flying. When it deals combat damage to the player, you can destroy target artifact or enchantment they control. It's efficient, and again, if you want to go air beats, this is a great air beats card. Even for control, this is great because you can remove things like Panoptic Mirror or Debtor's Knell or any other troublesome cards just by getting this guy swinging for 2 one time. Next we got Wing Codal, 3 for 1/1. You're starting to see this. It's the flying, the speed, getting the efficient flyers in play. 3 for 1/1 flying Death Touch. So this guy's just a really effective blocker. Basically, they attack with anything, some flyer. You flash this guy in, you can play him as an instant. You block with your 1/1 Death Touch. Or just at the end of turn, play it so you're faking out like you have counters, and then just play it, and now you have a 1/1 flyer that they can't do anything about. And the last creature here in the main board, Wistful Selkie. This is such a weird card. 3 for... Oh, no, wait, no, it's not weird. I'm thinking of something else. Hold on, look at it. 3 for 2/2 when it comes to play, draw a card. Not efficient, very easy to cast. I don't know what to say. It fits in a whole theme of drawing extra cards. It's a little slow. I could go either way on it, but there's only one right there. Let's look at enchantments. Claustrophobia, we got a little control. 1 and 2 blue. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets tapped and then doesn't untap. That's all it does. It's basically creature control. I could go either way on this, but there's not a lot of other creature control in this deck, so you might want to consider it. It does have 2 blue in the cost, so you might get color screwed sometimes, but I mean, just look at that art. That is some great art. 6 feet of earth muffled his cries. Wow. Chilling. Next up, Fable of Wolf and Owl. Again, just a weird card name, but I love it from, I believe, Eventide. So 3 and then 3 split. Whenever you play green spell, you get a 2/2 wolf creature. Whenever you play blue spell, you get a 1/1 bird creature. And if you play a blue and green card, you get both. So this generates huge card advantage. You can just fill the board with counters. And keep in mind that other card is whenever you play a spell, return something to owner's hand. I mean, geez, you could bounce your own coiling. You could have 2 coiling oracles. If you had like 8 mana, you could play 1. Then when you cast him, you're going to get a bird and a wolf. And you're going to get the draw, and you get to return the other coiling oracle to your hand because of the Tyrant. Then you play the other oracle, and do you understand the combo here? Like, it's just absolutely nasty. It's absolutely nasty. I love it. I love it. Yavimaya Embrace. It's 8 mana. You control targeted, you control enchanted creature, +2/+2 trample. Again, very expensive. I wouldn't run more than like maybe 3 of these expensive cards in the deck, but if you're considering it, you know there's nasty things you want to steal, and this just makes them nastier. Very cool. Very cool. Instant Groundswell. Target creature gets +2/+2 or landfall. If a land came into play, it gets +4/+4. And keep in mind that this deck does have Terramorphic Expanse, so you can get landfall on your opponent's turn because you can use Terramorphic Expanse during your opponent's turn to make a land come into play as an instant, and then use Groundswell and give something +4/+4. Very nasty. Pongify, this is just hilarious. One blue. This is not a blue thing, by the way. Destroy target creature. It can't be regenerated. It becomes a 3/3 ape creature token. Wow. So it's basically like Beast Within, except it only works on creatures but only costs 1 blue. Absolutely brutal. You could use this on your own creatures. If you have a 1/1 and you want to make a 3/3, you could use this on your own creatures if they're trying to like steal it. If they're trying to do something like Yavimai's Embrace It, you could destroy your own creature in response and get an 8 token instead. You could use this to destroy any of your opponent's creatures as an instant for 1 blue. Very powerful. And it's got that whole evolutionary biological feel to it. I guess, that's not really fair to say. It's just because it has, some kind of simian on it. I automatically associate evolution with it. I guess all of these creatures evolved except for this thing, because that's just nasty. And then sorcery, Aether Mutation. You'll also remember this from previous duels. A 5 mana, return target creature's owner's hand. Then you get a bunch of Saproling tokens based on how big the creature is. You could slow down your opponent by just returning their like nasty Titan back to their hand. So then you return the Titan to their hand, then you get 6 1/1 tokens, and then you could chump block their Titans all day. So it's just really cool. You could also use this on your own creatures to get enter the board effects again, and just to slow down your opponent and get lots of 1/1 tokens. And you see there's a lot of ways to get tokens, so if you want to build a token deck, very possible to do that. There's definitely a lot of different ways you could build this deck. Now let's go into the unlocks. So we have all 30 unlocks here, and let's see what we got. Sower of Temptation. This card is so powerful. Everyone knows this card is powerful. 4 for 2/2 flying. When it comes into play, you gain control of target creature, and you keep control of it, all right, until Sower of Temptation goes away. That's it. Oh shit. Oh my god. I think I might have a brown out. All right. Hopefully it doesn't happen. Let's keep going. Draining Welke. This is a really cool card. 6 mana for 1/1 flash flying. When it comes into play, counter target spell. So this is a 6 mana counter spell. Alright, that's really how you gotta think of it. It's a 6 mana counter spell. But it's also a creature, and then however big that spell was, you counter a 5 casting cost card. This thing comes into play with +5/+5. So for 6 mana, you counter a 5 casting cost card, and you get a 6/6 flying creature. You can also just use this as a chump blocker. You don't have to counterspell. I know it's really desperate to do this, but you could just play it for 6 mana to get a 1/1 flying flash creature as a chump blocker. Or if you need 1 lethal damage to swing in next turn, place at the end of their turn. Really cool card, really cool card. Would definitely place in most decks. This is very similar. Mystic Snake, 4 mana for 2/2 flash, and then when it comes to play, counter target spell. That's it. So when it comes into play, this is a lot more efficient. It doesn't cost much mana, it doesn't come in big, but it will put your opponent at disadvantage. You cast this turn 4 and their turn, whatever they thought they were casting turn 4 doesn't happen, and then they have another snake biting at their asp. Let's see what else we got in here. Sorry. Buy Mantic Mastery, 7 mana for sorcery. Draw a card for each creature target player controls, then draw a card for each player another target creature controls. That could be you, could be opponent, could be a teammate, could be other opponents in multiplayer game. Very nasty. It's 7 mana, so it's a little rough. It's 7 mana. You could end up drawing a lot of cards. You may not want to draw like 30 cards, but keep in mind that if you have a bunch of tokens out, you could be casting this for 7 mana and draw like 15 cards. It's absolutely gross. Again, it's very expensive. You don't want to run too many expensive spells, but something to consider as one of the expensive spells you run. Next up, we got the Simic Visionary Momir Vig. And Momir Vig's kind of an ugly dude, but let's see what he does. For 5 mana, 2/2. Whenever you play a green creature spell, search your library for a creature card and reveal it. Put it on top of your library. Whenever you play a blue spell, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, put it into your hand. So you see how this works? If you play a green and blue spell, you get to search your library for any creature card and put it in your hand. But the other effects are still cool by themselves. They could definitely help you out, help you find the things you need, and help you move forward quickly. So this guy, I would definitely include him in most builds. He gives you huge card advantage, even if you get to use his ability just once or twice. We got 2 more Omnibians here. We got another Simic Sky Swallower. Definitely the air beats are an option. Huge option for his deck. Control, huge option for his deck with all the Omnibians, right? Another Aether Mutation, another Yavimai's Embrace, and now, here's my homie, my bro. Muro Sorcerer. My brother, back in the day, built so many decks about Muro Sorcerer. He must have owned like 12 Muro Sorcerers just because he wanted to have like 3 or 4 copies of Multani in each of his decks. He didn't want to swap them out. He wanted them in the decks. 6 mana. This guy's got Shroud. It doesn't say it because this is the old printing. and then he has power toughness equal to the total number of cards in all players' hands. Not just your hand, not your opponent's hand. Your opponent's got 6 cards, you got 4 cards. He's a 10-10 Shroud for 6. You're playing a multiplayer game, everyone's got 7 cards. He's a 28 creature for 6 mana. Wow. You can't deny the power of Multani. Wow, he just took Muro to a whole nother level. So Multani should go in your deck. That's what I'm trying to say. Regrowth, this is old school. Bring any card from your graveyard to your hand. I'm sure the Oracle text is return target card from your graveyard to your hand. That's it. Very cool. There's no reason not to run this. It's only 2 mana and can get you back the things you need. They somehow kill Multani. Bam, Multani's back in your hand. Get to play him again. You could, if you were even desperate, you could first turn Terramorphic Expanse, second turn you could cast Forest, and then cast Regrowth to get Terramorphic Expanse back. So if you took a 2-land hand, you could use this to go fetch out more land. So definitely an option. Not a great option, but it is an option. This is why Regrowth is such a good card. We got more Fables of Wolf and Owl, and keep in mind that if you already have one in play, this isn't like other enchantments. This is great because it stacks. So you have one Fable of Wolf and Owl in play. Great, you play the second one, and because it's a green and blue spell, now you get 2 tokens, alright? So you get a 2/2 and a 1/1. Then you play the third Fable of Wolf and Owl, and you get 4 tokens. You get 2 green wolves and 2 blue birds, not bluebirds, but blue tokens that are birds. And now, any spell after that, you could get like 6 tokens every spell you play if they're blue and green. Absolutely awesome. But again, it's expensive. It's 6 mana. So if you're looking to build that kind of deck, that's great. But you need to look at your mana curve and figure out, do you want to have that kind of mana curve? How many 6 casting costs and up cards do you want? Merc Fiend Leaves. This guy's ugly. He is a horror, so I guess that makes sense. 5 mana for 4/4. It just boosts your other creatures, the green and blues. They get +1/+1. The green and blues together get +2/+2. And then every other untap step, all of your opponent's untap steps, all your creatures untap. This is very powerful for beatdown. This is very powerful for control because it allows you to also like have your creatures ability. You could use Omnibian during your turn, then the next turn your creatures untap, you can use Omnibian again. Very cool. Over Being a Myth, we got another one of those. Here's the card that I was saying was weird before that I messed up. Selkie Hedge. It's even a weird name. Geez, does she even have legs? Does she have a skirt? I really can't tell if she's a crab. She looks like she might be a crab. She's a merfolk wizard. Alright. 3 mana for 2/2. When it comes into play, if you have 2 or more forests, you gain 3 life. When it comes into play, if you have 2 or more islands, return target tapped creature to its owner's hand. So it's not quite like Mana War. It's not quite like this is some Straddle's Defense. I wouldn't use this. I wouldn't use this in beatdown because it's too slow. 3 for 2/2, and maybe you can return something to hand. Maybe you'll gain life. But this is great for a more control, slower deck. Absolutely great. Just imagine you have Fable, Wolf, and Owl in play. You play one of these late game. So for 3 minutes, you get a 2/2 creature. You gain 3 life. You return something to their hand. You get a 2/2 Wolf and a 1/1 Owl. Absolutely awesome. Snake Form. This is actually a really cool 3 mana. It turns target creature into 1/1 snake at the end of turn, and you draw a card. So it replaces itself. And just think about it, this is basically removal. They attack with their 8/8 creature. Bam! Nope, your creature's a 1/1. I block it with my 2/2 creature. It dies, and I draw a card, and your creature's a snake. It's just really, it just feels cool to turn a creature into a snake for 1 turn. This has all kinds of cool impacts on the game. If someone's doing something like casting an earthquake effect, like 1 damage to every creature, and they think their creature's safe because it's like a 4 toughness creature, nope, it's a snake, it dies. Just something to keep in mind. Justin Infiltrator, 2 for 2/2, that's unblockable, good for beatdown, not really great for anything else. You don't really have a lot of enchantments in this deck that you can throw on this. You don't have a lot of ways to put counters on this creature, so I wouldn't really necessarily run these. But if you're just looking to get some cheap damage in, or put it in with flyers, just because it is another type of evasion it can get through. We got some lower scale Codals. You remember this guy, absolutely nasty. You should definitely throw these in your deck. We got Alcon Heretic, 2 for 1/1. Whenever it deals damage to opponent, you may draw a card. And you see, the problem with this is you have no way to make him deal damage to an opponent. Like, how are you going to get him through? He doesn't have trample, he doesn't have flying, he's not unblockable. You don't have enchantments that you can put on him other than Yavimai's Embrace, which by the way costs like 7 or 8 mana. Let me just check because now I need to know. Now I said that. 8 mana. You're not putting 8 mana on this guy. So I wouldn't run the Heretic, but you know, it's up to you. But it's really not up to you. Don't run him. Acidic Slime. You remember this guy. from Yiva's deck. All right, 5 mana, 2/2, Death Touch, and destroy target artifact, creature, land. Very good, very strong. It does require 2 specific green, and it is a little small. Don't use this for beatdown. It's gonna be a little too late to the party. You should use that other one instead, the Stomp Howler. But overall, very cool. Quest for the Gem Blades. 2 mana. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to another creature, you may put a quest counter on Quest for Gem Blades. And all you have to do is remove 1 quest counter from Quest to Gem Blades. So this only has to happen once. And sacrifice this, and then give one of your creatures +4/+4 permanently. Very cool. Very cool. This will, and keep in mind, it's damage to another creature. So this forces your opponents to not attack you, because they know that if they attack you and your creatures do even damage once to one of the creatures, you can pump one of your creatures +4/+4. It also forces your opponents to not block your creatures, because they know if they block, bam, once, you get the +4/+4. It's a huge disincentive. It controls combat passively. Very cool. We have a Gigantomancer, which you'll also remember from Yiva's deck. This is very powerful, but again, 8 mana. It's not like you could cheat. You can't cheat him in play the same way you can in Yiva's deck, so I wouldn't run him. In Yiva's deck, I could see Gigantomancer. In this one, not really. You can ramp a little bit, but not so much. And finally, the last 2 cards. Very cool cards. Very cool. Mitotic Slime. 5 mana for 4/4. And you're thinking, alright, what's so great about that? When this creature dies, you get 2 2/2 creatures. So it basically splits into 2 2/2 creatures. And when each of those dies, it splits into 2 1/1 creatures. So basically, this is the thing that would not die. So it starts as a single 4/4 creature. If it dies, it becomes 2 2/2 creatures. And then if those die, it becomes 4 1/1 creatures. And absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. So everyone, this is Sky and Scale. This is the Simic deck for DLC 2 for Duels of the Planeswalkers 2013. I hope you appreciate this overview. I'm sorry for any sound or video problems, and we're getting absolutely hammered out here in New Jersey at the time of recording. But I hope you're looking forward to this deck and the Boros deck as much as I am. Obviously, there are more decks coming in. I'm going to keep you appraised as much as possible as soon as that news comes out. But hopefully, if you come back to TopTierTactics.com, you can get a more permanent deck list that I put up. You can also find out tips. I'm going to start working on deck lists for these decks. I'll start testing them, fishbowling them, see what I think, what I could possibly put together with this. But if you have suggestions for how to play these decks, what cards do you think you're going to keep, let me know in the comments, or stop at TopTierTactics.com and let me know in the comments there. We're also going to have all kinds of other Magic resources at Top Tier Tactics, as always, and I'd be lovingly happy to see you. Just show up. I don't know what I was planning to say there. I would be in love. I'd be happy. I'd be lovingly happy. That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, guys, Wingspan TT from TopTierTactics.com. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I'll see you online. Cheers.